In this video, we're continuing on with the KutaSoftware Algebra 2 free worksheet review of linear equations. I'll leave a link in the description below so you know how to access this worksheet. In this video, we're going to complete numbers 7 through 14. So for numbers 7 and 8, the directions say to write the standard form of the equation of each line given the slope and the y-intercept. Quickly, let's go over standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equal to c. That's where a, b, and c are integers or whole numbers. Both a and b cannot be equal to 0, and a is not negative, so a is greater than 0. Also for standard form, a, b, and c cannot be divisible by the same number, so they cannot have a common factor. So let's get started with number 7. In number 7, we're given that slope is -3/5 and the y-intercept is 5. So writing this in slope-intercept form, we can say y equals -3/5 x plus b, our y-intercept, of 5. In order to get to standard form, ax plus by equals c, we want x and y on the same side of the equation. So we're going to add 3/5 x to both sides. So I'll have 3/5 times x plus y equals 5. Now remember, a, b, and c all have to be integers, and currently a is not an integer. In order to fix that, we're going to multiply by 5 to get the 5 out of the denominator. So multiplying both sides of the equation by 5, we're going to have to distribute the 5 on the left-hand side. So the 5 gets multiplied to the 3/5 x, and it gets multiplied to the y. So 5 times 3/5 x plus 5 times y is equal to 5 times 5, which is 25. 5 times 3/5 is going to equal 3, so that will be 3x. And we're adding that to 5y, and that is equal to 25. So the answer in number 7, ax plus by equals c, is 3x plus 5y equals 25. A, b, and c are all integers. A and b are both not equal to 0, and a is greater than 0. In number 8, we have a slope of 9 and a y-intercept of 4. So writing that in slope-intercept form, we'll have y equal to 9x plus b, so plus 4. I need x and y on the same side of the equation, so I'm going to subtract 9x at the start. So I'll have negative 9x plus y equals positive 4. Now if you remember, one of our constraints or constituents is that a has to be greater than 0 or non-negative. However, currently we have a negative a. So in order to fix that, we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by -1. So distributing that -1 to the negative 9x and to the y. -1 times negative 9x is a positive 9x. -1 times y is going to be negative y, and adding a negative is the same as subtracting a positive, so I'm going to subtract y, and that's going to be equal to c, which is 4 times -1, which is -4. ax plus by equals c. My a is 9, my b is -1, and my c is -4. A, b, and c are all integers, a is non-negative, and a and b are not equal to 0. For numbers 9 through 14, we have to write the standard form of the equation of each line. So remember, standard form, ax plus by equals c. In number 9, I'm going to move my x to the same side of the equation as my y. So I'm going to add 7/5 x to both sides. So I have 7/5 x plus y is equal to a positive 1. My a, b, and c have to be integers, so I'm going to multiply by the 5. Whatever I do to the left side of the equation, I have to do to the right. my 5 will get distributed to 7/5 x and the y. So continuing my work, 5 times 7/5 x is going to be 7x plus 5 times y, which is 5y, and that's equal to 1 times 5, which is 5. So my solution, number 9, is 7x plus 5y equals 5. ax plus by equals c. And number 10, again, I'm going to start by moving my x. So I'm subtracting 3/2 x from both sides. So I'll have negative 3/2 x plus y equals 5. Now currently I have an a that is not an integer and it's also negative. So I'm going to make it positive and an integer in one step by multiplying by a -2. So I'm going to distribute the -2 to the negative 3/2 x and to the positive y. So continuing my work over here, I'll get that -2 times -3/2 is a positive 3, and that's multiplied to x. So I'll have 3x plus -2 times y is a -2y, but I can write plus -2y as minus a positive 2y, and that's going to be equal to 5 times -2, which is -10. 3x minus 2y equals -10 is standard form for number 10. In number 11, I'm going to start by distributing the -7. At the same time, I'm going to move 4 to the other side of the equation, because remember, I want x and y on the same side of the equation with nothing else. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. So I'll get that y is equal to -7 times x, which is -7x, minus -7 times 1, which is -7, and subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive, so I'm going to add 7, and then we're subtracting 4 from that. My next step, I'm going to simplify by combining my 7 and 4, and I'm going to move 7x to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to add 7x to both sides. Y plus 7x is going to be 7x plus y, and that's equal to 7 minus 4, which is 3. My a, b, and c are all integers, a and b are not equal to 0, and a is greater than 0. 7x plus y equals 3 is standard form in number 11. In number 12, I'm going to distribute this negative, which we can think of as multiplying by a -1. And at the same time, I'm going to subtract 1. So I'll have that y equals -1 times x, which is -x, plus -1 times 3, which is -3, and then we're subtracting 1. I'm going to combine my terms on the right, which is -3 minus 1, and I'm going to move my x to the other side. So adding x to both sides. Y plus x we can write as x plus y, and that's going to be equal to -3 minus 1, which is -4. A is +1, B is +1, and C is -4. So ax plus by equals c. For number 12 is x plus y equals -4. In number 13, my x and y are already on the same side of the equation. However, my a is negative, and a cannot be negative, so we're going to start by multiplying both sides of the equation by -1. Distributing my -1 to the -10x and to the y, I'll get positive 10x minus, since I'm subtracting y, -1 times y, which is -y. However, subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. So I'm going to have 10x plus y, and that's going to be equal to -5 times 1, which is +5. So my solution, number 13, is 10x plus y equals 5. My a is 10, my b is 1, and my c is 5. ax plus by equals c. And lastly in this video, number 14. However, before I go over the answer to this, please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. All likes and subscriptions are greatly appreciated, and let me know that you're finding these videos helpful. Now I need this in the form of standard form, so ax plus by equals c. In order to do that, I'm going to add 4 to both sides, and at the same time, I'm going to add x to both sides. So negative 4 plus 4 will be 0, so I'll be left with x minus 2y on the left. Negative x plus x is 0, so I'll be left with 4 on the right. So my final solution is x minus 2y equals 4, where a equals 1, b equals negative 2, and c equals positive 4. A, b, and c are all integers, a and b are not equal to 0, and a is greater than 0. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.